I'm on my way to the new factory where this car is built. It's the headquarters of Formula One giants McLaren. There's nothing much to see here. Looks a bit like a science park. At least it does, until you turn the corner. The building's in the midst of green belt land, squeezed onto the side of some old farm buildings. Only by keeping very low and flat could it get planning permission. It can't be seen by anyone except its staff and visitors. This is so far from the traditional image of a factory that it's hard to believe they manufacture anything here. Even for corporate offices, this would be remarkably glamorous. But the McLaren Technology Centre is both offices and functioning factory. It's also a giant display case designed to impress the sponsors Formula One depends upon and to seduce potential customers. In the heart of the building, cars are prepared for the next Grand Prix. In another area, commercial road cars are constructed. At over 300 grand each, these are highly bespoke little numbers, and so is the pristine production line. This is no place for grease monkeys. The first area to be built was McLaren's own wind tunnel, which in fact dictated much of the rest of the design. This is where they test the aerodynamic efficiency of the cars. Now, when it's switched on, it is pushing air through at 185 miles an hour and creating a lot of turbulence. And the friction between all that moving air and the steel walls creates a colossal amount of heat. That heat is dissipated by water, which then pours down a cascade 160 meters long. So as well as being ornamental, the lake effectively cools down the whole plant. The two parts of this design really do complement each other, like yin and yang. Reed beds purify the water before it's pumped back into the plant, as well as providing a haven for wildlife. To keep winning on the track, McLaren doesn't just need good motors. It needs to retain key talent. This building is designed to make them happy, according to the man whose vision it was.
I wanted it to be a building that the workforce didn't want to go home from. I wanted it to be so motivational to be in that they just felt completely stimulated by it, effectively just having a tremendous work ethic coming out of it.
So how actively did you get involved with the design of this building?
Actively involved is a bit of an understatement. I'm a sort of self-declared compulsive obsessive. My wife believes that I'm actually ill. I'd like to feel that I'm, just focused and determined, and I just have a tremendous attention to detail.
Everything about this building is custom designed, not just the cars. The specially created aluminium window supports even resemble the tail fin of a racer. Ron doesn't like standard bolt heads, so he ordered new designs. And the tread width on the stairs? Well, that's just how Ron likes it too. Ron thinks litter bins look messy, so his engineers created an inbuilt waste solution. He even had the fire exit signs designed in McLaren's typeface. Ron's chosen architect won the Sterling Prize last year with the Gherkin, and also back in 1998 with Duxford Air Museum. Norman Foster's high-tech style made him the perfect match. He shares Ron's obsession with everything being orderly, rational, and pared down to a functional minimum. Foster's speciality is in bringing engineering solutions to architectural challenges. Working with an engineering business was clearly a meeting of minds. The result borders on the anally retentive, but is immaculately realised on an unspecified but surely massive budget. Even without the sports cars, this is the stuff of male fantasy. Certainly for me. There's a dash of Bond villain's lair and more than a whiff of science fiction here. The underground corridors are straight out of Kubrick's 2001. According to Ron, all of this was designed to motivate his staff. And the employees I met all strive to be as perfect as the engineering around them.
Working in this building definitely makes you have a far higher professional approach towards what you're doing.
I think Ron Dennis's whole culture is very much working to exacting standards, and the building reflects that.
I like working in a cleanly, smart environment. And I mean, the car we're producing is, you know, state of the art. The building we're in is state of the art, and it just makes you work to a higher standard.
Surely there are times when you get an oil spillage on the floor. I mean, it must be a pain in the neck to have to clear the place up all the time.
It encourages you not to make a mess. If you were on an old garage floor, you might leave it, but we don't. That's the difference, I suppose.
The cars have the grandstand view, facing the picture windows. One man, though, is bound to disagree with my scepticism. Lord Norman Foster. It is uniformly grey, isn't it? I mean, it is everywhere in this building.
It's very full of sparkle, though, isn't it?
Very little in the way of colour.
But it's... Well, you say that, but, you know, first of all, the grey is, you know, many-toned and lots of sparkle. And no colour. But, you know, the performers, the cars, they're full of colour.
Stars.
Of course. And it's full of, you know, full of light, of colour, of green, of water, of sky.
Will you ever tire of designing grey buildings?
Never. This building is an adventure. It's a romance. It's a celebration, and it's very precise as well.
No one can argue with Foster's unique place in British architecture. He impresses the critics with his engineering skill, but also creates buildings the public find beautiful and glamorous. That's why he's won the Sterling twice before, and could do again tonight.